You've spent the whole time saying Caitlin Clark injured will help us find our identity. You have Caitlin Clark on your team. Do you want to know what you should try to do? And I understand you cannot play Caitlin Clark ball without Caitlin Clark.
Look at Caitlin Clark's face. Look at Caitlin Clark's face. She knows it's over. Just like I knew it was over, bruh.
Fever were embarrassing today.
Something shocking unfolded in Indiana, and Caitlin Clark's frustration said it all. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. If you watched the Fever's latest outing, you know it was a train wreck. Without Clark on the floor, this team looked directionless, dead on offense, disorganized on defense, and completely disengaged.
The Indiana Fever's in a heap of trouble, bro. I mean, it is hot in the kitchen. Sydney Colson is not it. I just gotta keep it real, dog. I ain't gonna get on here a lot. She looked bad.
Indiana suffered yet another loss, and the way it played out, fans and experts are sounding the alarm. In today's breakdown, we'll dissect the disaster, highlight the key reactions, and ask the question on everyone's mind. Should Caitlin Clark return now to try and rescue this squad?
Like, they were embarrassingly bad without Caitlin Clark. A good coach will figure something out. Does this team play defense? No. I mean this team doesn't play defense.
Let's dive in. This wasn't just a loss. It was a major red flag. The Fever fell to the Mystics, 83-77, but that margin doesn't tell the whole story. After a promising first quarter, everything fell apart.
The game is pretty much over, man. Fever lost the game 77-83. It's just ugly, man.
Ball movement stalled, shot selection got erratic, and the offense came to a grinding halt. Indiana put up just 13 points in the third quarter, and that stretch alone killed any momentum they had. The numbers paint an ugly picture. Sydney Colson played 31 minutes but scored just 4 points. That's more time than Aaliyah Boston, who hit 4 of her 5 shots but barely got touches.
Colson had 4 points. Look, I didn't expect Colson to score a lot of points. I just wanted her to play the defense. She allowed, well, who was that, man? Was that Melbourne? She allowed Melbourne to just run right past her, lay the ball up. I'm like, come on now. What type of defense are we playing right now?
Sid Colson got burned on the offensive end.
Colson hoisted up 7 shots. Boston, only 5. It's baffling. Kelsey Mitchell, usually a reliable scorer, struggled mightily. 4 for 16 from the field, only 14 points, and tons of forced plays. At one point, she was double-teamed and refused to pass. That's not veteran poise, it's poor judgment.
How many times did the Indiana Fever take a fast break shot today? Under 3 times did they take a fast break shot. They didn't even attempt to do this. And it's not like this is a good transition defensive team. They're young. How? You are playing against a team who doesn't run back on defense, and you didn't even try to run.
Indiana turned the ball over 16 times and scored 0 fast break points. Yes, 0. A professional basketball team played 40 minutes and never capitalized on a transition opportunity. It's clear they don't know how to function without Caitlin running things. Dana Bonner gave them some life off the bench, putting up 14 points in 24 minutes. Lexi Hull led the team in minutes with 30, but managed just 9 points. As for Boston, she should have been the offensive focal point, but instead, she was treated like an afterthought.
Lexi Hall played approximately 30 minutes. Looked like Lexi Hall played the most minutes, man. She only had 9 points, 2 assists, and 4 rebounds. My goodness, it is ugly. I can't even lie, bruh. I don't think that they're going to pull this one off. It is over, bro. I mean, it's simply nail and coffin for the Indiana Fever, dog, at this point.
This roster has potential, but it's being wasted. Sydney Colson is being asked to steer the offense, yet her stat line shows she's not the right fit. Aaliyah Boston was efficient but barely involved. That's on the coaching staff. Kelsey Mitchell, playing hero ball in Clark's absence and burning possessions left and right. She ignored open teammates and repeatedly forced contested shots. That's not carrying the team. It's dragging it down.
Now let's talk about Boston, man. Went 4 for 5 from the floor, had 10 points. Didn't shoot bad from the floor, but the defense, oh my goodness. When I saw that Shakira was back, I knew she was going to give Boston some problems, man. Shakira is a dog down there in the paint.
Boston's limited involvement is unforgivable. She brings elite footwork, inside presence, and smart shot selection. And yet the ball hardly finds her. That's a total failure in strategy and execution. Bonner, again, played with energy and purpose. The same can't be said for Sophie Cunningham or Lexi Hull.
You have to find better shots. You have to find an easier way to find one to go down, all right? You need to find easier shots.
Like, they were embarrassingly bad without Caitlin Clark. A good coach will figure something out. Does this team play defense? No.
Sophie, in particular, looked out of her depth trying to run point. Let's call it what it is. This was poor management. Aaliyah Boston, your most consistent scorer, played less than Sydney Colson, who was inefficient and mistake-prone. Colson shot 7 times, turned the ball over 3 times, committed 5 fouls, and failed to run the offense. It was painful to watch. Kelsey Mitchell continued her struggles, sticking to isolation plays that repeatedly failed.
DeWanna Bonner at least had a good game today, man. For the most part, she should have did better when it comes to the rebounding department, but she played 24 minutes, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, and 14 points.
Her movement off the ball was minimal, and she wasn't creating opportunities for anyone else. Meanwhile, Bonner once again provided a spark. Hull was active but ineffective, and Cunningham crumbled under full-court pressure. Bottom line, there's no backup plan, no structure, no offensive identity.
We see that the Fever outscored the Mystics first quarter. Second quarter went Mystics' way. Look how slow this third quarter was. 13-16. And then the Fever actually scored more points in the fourth quarter. I mean, the Mystics literally won this game in 1 quarter.
The coaching staff is fumbling their rotation and relying on the wrong players at the wrong times, and the losses are stacking up. If you want to gauge how bad things are, just check the online reactions. Social media exploded during and after the game. Fans, analysts, even ex-players were saying the same thing. This team is lost without Caitlin Clark.
Look at Caitlin Clark's face. Look at Caitlin Clark's face. She knows it's over. Just like I knew it was over, bruh.
One viral post showed Clark on the bench looking visibly upset, shaking her head, biting her lip, clearly holding back. Her expression said it all. She knows they're underperforming, and she knows they need her more than ever.
This was embarrassing. This was embarrassing. And how much grace are we going to give to a coach because the coach says, we're working things out for the rest of the season. We're trying to figure out our identity. Do you want to know what your identity is? You shouldn't need to figure out your identity. You have Caitlin effing Clark on your team.
Criticism of the coaching staff is everywhere. One tweet summed it up. Letting Colson run the offense like it's rec league while Boston barely sees the ball? Unreal. National media are also noticing. ESPN noted that Clark was more engaged in the huddle than the actual head coach. The verdict from fans is clear. They're fed up with the wasted potential. Unless something changes soon, the noise will only get louder. The fan base is running on empty.
You've spent the whole time saying Caitlin Clark injured will help us find our identity. You have Caitlin Clark on your team. Do you want to know what you should try to do? And I understand you cannot play Caitlin Clark ball without Caitlin Clark.
This recent loss didn't just expose cracks, it blew the whole foundation wide open. Without Caitlin Clark, this team is missing everything: energy, identity, and leadership. Online comments were ruthless. One person wrote, "Do they even practice? There's no structure out there." Another said, "You take away the one player who knows how to create offense, and the team unravels." The most worrying response? Multiple fans said they're done watching until Clark returns. That's a major warning sign. You've got a rookie superstar, and without her, the product is borderline unwatchable.
Caitlin Clark is the GOAT.
She signed my jersey. So happy, I'm crying. I'm so happy. This is the best day ever.
Caitlin Clark effect seems to be crazier than year one.
I love watching her score and just everything about her.
They went the extra mile just to watch her play here.
This is great news for women's basketball. Period.
She just brings so much passion to the game, and look at all these people that just want to come and see her.
It is no secret that the Indiana Fever are the most popular team in the WNBA. It is good for the entire WNBA.
It also shows how dependent this team is on Clark, and that's dangerous. A rookie shouldn't be the only functional piece of your entire system. The message couldn't be clearer. This team cannot survive without Caitlin Clark. But it's not just about her absence, it's about how poorly managed the rest of the team is.
When it's just about to end, it's not fully over, she just shoved Brittany Sykes for no reason. She was just running around hacking people at inopportune times.
There's no other way to explain Aaliyah Boston, the team's most efficient scorer, playing less minutes than Sydney Colson, a player who's known more for being a locker room presence than a serious on-court contributor. Boston had only 5 shot attempts and converted 4 of them. That alone is a coaching disaster. Sydney Colson, on the other hand, she was a mess. 7 shot attempts, 3 turnovers, 5 fouls, and absolutely no flow when she was on the floor.
DeWanna Bonner at least had a good game today, man. For the most part, she should have did better when it comes to the rebounding department, but she played 24 minutes, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, and 14 points.
Not only was she inefficient, but her decision-making actually hurt the team. She disrupted spacing, missed open passes to Boston, and often dribbled into nowhere. It's painfully clear. Colson is not a starting caliber guard, and definitely not one who should lead the offense in Caitlin Clark's absence. Kelsey Mitchell continues to frustrate fans. She's supposed to be the offensive engine, but her reliance on isolation plays and low percentage shots made her more of a liability than an asset. 4 for 16 from the field, just 4 assists, and little to no off-ball movement. She isn't adjusting, and it's costing them games.
At least DeWanna Bonner got a nice shot to end the game with 21 points. At least DeWanna Bonner did something.
Meanwhile, Dana Bonner remains the lone, consistent bright spot. Again, she played with energy and confidence, finishing with 14 points and providing stability when the rest of the team looked confused. Lexi Hull, while active, didn't produce much. And Sophie Cunningham? She was exposed for her lack of ball handling under pressure, especially when the Mystics pressed her full court. This team has no real backup plan, no pace, no structure, and clearly no plan B without Caitlin Clark. The coaching staff has misused its weapons and allowed non-performers to dominate minutes. And the result is exactly what we're seeing: a demoralized, directionless roster falling apart in real time.
You've spent the whole time saying Caitlin Clark injured will help us find our identity. You have Caitlin Clark on your team. Do you want to know what you should try to do? And I understand you cannot play Caitlin Clark ball without Caitlin Clark.
If you want to understand how bad things are right now for the Fever, don't just look at the scoreboard, look at the reactions. Social media lit up during and after the game, and it wasn't pretty. Fans, analysts, and former players were all saying the same thing. This team looks lost without Caitlin Clark.
Last time Caitlin Clark played them, man, she nearly had dinner half the points. Look at Caitlin Clark's face. She know it's over. Just like I knew it was over, bro. I had to come down here to make the video in the studio, bro, because I knew it was over, bro. It's over. It's 1:11 right now.
On X, formerly Twitter, a post went viral showing Caitlin Clark on the bench, visibly frustrated, shaking her head, staring in disbelief, and at one point, looking like she was biting her lip just to stay calm. That face told the entire story. She knows this team is better than what they're showing, and she also knows that her presence is the only thing holding it all together. People are calling out the coaching staff too. One post read, "Stephanie White's game plan is letting Sydney Colson run the offense like it's open gym. Meanwhile, Aaliyah Boston touches the ball once every 10 possessions. Ouch, but it's not wrong. These are decisions that are costing games, and the fan base is losing patience."
When it's just about to end, it's not fully over, she just shoved Brittany Sykes for no reason. She was just running around hacking people at inopportune times.
Even national outlets are starting to raise questions. Where's the urgency? Where's the leadership? ESPN's coverage noted that Clark was more animated in the huddles than the actual coach, and that's exactly the problem. When your injured rookie is showing more fire than your head coach, something is broken. The reactions are crystal clear. Fans are tired of watching this team waste talent, and unless something changes fast, the criticism will only get louder.
Impressive display by the Mystics, who, if they had Georgia Amore, would be a very interesting team. The loss of Amore really hurt them, but Sykes has played well as well. And in this one, it was Iriafen with 16 points and 8 boards. Citron with 13 points, 7 boards.
Let's be honest. What we're seeing now is a total collapse in confidence, and it's spreading from the court to the fan base. Fever supporters are exhausted, And Caitlin Clark's absence has exposed every weakness in this roster and in the coaching staff. After this game, comment sections were on fire. One fan wrote, "This team doesn't even look like they practice. No sets, no urgency, just chaos." Another said, "This is what happens when you take away the only player who creates offense. The whole thing falls apart." And again, people are pointing fingers directly at Stephanie White, who's been criticized for standing on the sideline with her arms crossed.
I am stunned. Washington is one of the worst teams in the league, and they came out in a heavyweight bout and put the beats on the Indiana Fever, bro. They need Caitlin Clark back in a major way, dog. The point guard position is simply non-existent on this Indiana Fever basketball team. I mean, this is crazy. Sydney Colson played more minutes than Aaliyah Boston, dog.
Doing nothing to spark her team. The most telling reaction? Multiple fans said they're done watching until Caitlin Clark returns. That's a huge red flag. You've got one of the most hyped rookies in basketball history, and without her, the team becomes practically unwatchable. That's not just bad luck. That's a structural failure. It also says a lot about how much this team depends on Caitlin, not just for points, but for identity. Without her, there's no clear offensive system, no consistent leader, and no spark. She's a rookie. She shouldn't have to carry the entire franchise on her back. But here we are. The noise is growing louder. Analysts are questioning the Fever's rotations, play calling, and roster choices. Fans are turning away. And Clark, she's watching it all happen. Powerless, but clearly furious.
Last time Caitlin Clark played them, man, she nearly had dinner half the points. Look at Caitlin Clark's face. Look at Caitlin Clark's face. She knows it's over. Just like I knew it was over, bro. I had to come down here to make the video in the studio, bro, because I knew it was over, bro. It's over. It's 1:11 right now.
By now, the message is loud and clear, and it's coming from everywhere. Without Caitlin Clark, the Indiana Fever are falling apart. But it's not just the losses piling up. It's how the team is losing, with no energy, no structure, and no accountability. The fan base has officially hit its breaking point.
It's just ugly, man. Let's check out the box scores here real quick. The game is pretty much over, man. Fever lost the game 77-83. Stephanie White is going to have to answer a lot of questions, man.
Fever forums and Reddit threads are filled with frustration. One user summed it up perfectly. "We don't just need Caitlin Clark back. We need a real offensive system, a new rotation, and a coach who actually gives a damn." And that sentiment is growing louder every day. Even former WNBA players have chimed in, with one bluntly stating on an Instagram live, "You can't let your MVP candidate shoot 5 times. That's a fireable offense." Referring to Aaliyah Boston's bizarre lack of touches, it's another piece of proof that this isn't just a personnel issue. It's a coaching and decision-making crisis. The spotlight has now shifted. It's no longer just about Caitlin Clark's return. It's about whether the franchise has the leadership to make it worth her time.
This was just an ugly, ugly game for the Indiana Fever. And I'm telling you right now, this is going to be a long road to success because the way it's looking without Caitlin Clark, man, they might not win a game.
Fever fan forums are filled with frustration. One Reddit post nailed it. It's not just about needing Clark back. It's about needing a whole new system, from top to bottom. Even former players are sounding off. One said on Instagram, "You can't let your franchise player take 5 shots. That's coaching malpractice." The focus has shifted. It's no longer just about Clark's return. It's about whether the Fever organization can give her a situation worth returning to. And Caitlin, you can see the disappointment in her expression. This isn't what she signed up for. If things don't improve fast, the question may shift from when will she return to why would she bother? And that wraps it up. Another painful loss, another round of questions, and once again, Caitlin Clark is at the center of it all, even from the sidelines.
Indiana Fever lose to a young Washington Mystics team without Caitlin Clark.
The Indiana Fever is in a heap of trouble, bro. It is hot in the kitchen.
Whether you blame the coaching, the rotations, or the lack of energy on the floor, one thing's clear. The Indiana Fever are falling apart without their star. But here's the real question. Should Caitlin rush back to fix this mess? Or is it time the team figures things out without leaning on a rookie to carry the load? I want to hear what you think. Drop a CC100 in the comments if you believe Caitlin Clark deserves better than this chaos. If this video hit home, or you just needed a place to let it all out, smash that like button. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. We've got more real talk and updates coming your way. Thanks for watching. Stay locked in and stay hopeful. I'll catch you in the next one.